Hi, I'm Adriana from C-Lab, and today I want to talk about a super hot topic, which is men and women, and why sometimes we don't understand one another. So in this video, I'm hoping to give you a couple of just shifts in perception that can make a very big difference in how you're thinking about men and women, and it can make a very big difference in your relationships. So a big mistake that people make when they're talking about gender, and I've been like a gender philosopher and thinking about those things for a long time now, is that often people think about men and then they think about all the things men, and they talk about women and they think about all the things women over here. And I'm like, well, this is like not true. That's not realistic. So the best way we have to, the most realistic way to go about it is to think of us in context of one another. Because when you have men's groups and when you have women's groups, you have only men with men, and when you have here only women with women. So that's why in parties or in situations in which women talk with women, some of our viewpoints can get reinforced. We can all go, oh yeah, he always does that. Or they go, the man, I don't know their version of, she always does that, but kind of, their version of that. The way that I invite people to think about it is, imagine that you're painting your house and you are choosing a wall that's going to be yellow. So if you've gone to choose colors for painting the wall, you might have seen that there's lots of different tones of yellow. So if you have two very different tones actually, and you don't have them side by side, you can even try that by yourself. They look like the same color when they're very far away from each other. But when you put them together, they look very different. So that's one tone of yellow in the context, so next to the other tone of yellow. So then you're able to see, when one is next to the other, you can see, this yellow has like little tone of green coming through. This other yellow has red and oranges. That's the same type of argument that I use to talk to people that say, but men and women are more similar than different. I'm like, yes, if you're comparing us to other species, absolutely. But that's barely relevant. So let's compare men to women when we're coexisting. So that's the first thing, okay? Imagine us in that way. Second, you need to shift the way you engage with these differences. Instead of being automatically triggered or in a defensive mode every time you don't understand something, you don't understand a behavior, you could change that for curiosity. Like seriously, curiosity does miracles. If instead of if you notice yourself getting triggered or annoyed, like, why does he always do that? Go like, why does he always do that? I'm really curious. And if you want to go one step further, ask him, but not from a place of trigger and annoyance. Like, why do you always do that? But more like, I'm really curious. I noticed that I was getting a little bit stressed out. I mean, sharing the state that you're in, but without blame, can also do wonders. And this is like training wheels for relationships. I'm not saying that you have to behave this way all the time, but to prevent fights and to understand one another, I really recommend it. That you disclose what's going on for you. So you go, when you made that comment, I noticed that I got a little bit triggered and annoyed. What made you make that offer to me? Did you think that I couldn't do it on my own, or did you? And then, this is my guess, most often than not, you might be surprised with the answer, because a lot of the times actually, even though, a lot of us don't think this way, we are trying, we have a generosity towards the other. Like, the guy, like your partner is not really just trying to annoy you, and vice versa. You're trying really, like you're seeing things from your standpoint over here, the yellow color with orange tone, and they're seeing the world through this other perspective. And of course, you know that with my work, I bring in the frames of the hormones and all of that makes a very different worldview, like a way of, not a worldview, a different relationship with the worldview. So, so curiosity can do wonders. Sharing your curiosity and then really listening. This might be the trickiest one. It's when the person says, you really take it in. Not like rolling your eyes or I don't care about what you have to say. Just going like, that's fascinating. And really take that on. Like take it in, what they're saying, and see, even though you can't understand, you might not be able to empathize emotionally, like in your heart, you go, oh, I don't understand how somebody would do that. Maybe with your mind, you can be empathetic. Go like, if I saw the world this way, maybe I would do things this way as well. And the last one would be, which is kind of, they're all complementary. Instead of jumping into assumptions, you actually just make a little space with your assumptions. So for example, I'll give you a very silly example, okay? My examples are silly, but just to paint the story. This is silly, but this is actually true, because I have seen women get triggered by that. So if a guy is opening the door of the car for you, let's say, some women are gonna say, oh, that's amazing, great, awesome. But let us say that some women get triggered. And, fill in the blanks for you, what's something that your partner or somebody might do for you that you go like, he's patronizing me. Instead of thinking that he's patronizing you and the guy opening the door for you, instead of being reactive automatically, when you're feeling this reactivity, play with the offer, and then just imagine why they would be doing that. Sometimes you can ask, but sometimes you can go like, is it possible that I am wrong in my judgments? Because obviously, the guy knows that you can't open the door on your own, obviously, right? So there are a lot of things that the guys know you're perfectly able to do. He's doing that with a different intention. Now, if the intention that you're assuming he's wanting to do that also is triggering for you, that's another layer of it, and then we can explore it in another video. And vice versa for the woman with the man. Like if he, the examples that come to me are very, very silly. They happen in my house. So, he can't find this. He's not trying to not find it on purpose. What if he truly can't find because his gaze naturally favors something and your gaze naturally favors something else? I mean, our biology and our brain wiring would affirm that, okay? That we're meant to complement each other. We're not meant to substitute the other. So that's another frame that you can hold. What if we don't have to be self-sufficient? What if I could let him do some things for me that he's actually pretty good at, and I could do some things for him that I'm pretty good at? So this is, a simple video, but that can shift massively the relationships. It has shifted in my house. And humor, curiosity, openness, humor, not jumping into assumptions and not reacting on triggers straight away can be just a great way of like shifting the way we engage with triggers between men and women. If you apply some of these little tools, little tweaks in your relationship, and if it changes something, I would absolutely love to hear from you. So it can be here on YouTube, on Substack. And please subscribe, share the videos if you like. C-Lab is about creating a cyclically informed society, which means, in other words, understanding that we're coexisting, men and women, with different biologies, different brain pathways, and also different assumptions about one another that we also need to correct. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye.